Get ready for an hour filled with conspiracies, UFOs, ghosts, the paranormal, legends, and myths from around the world. Chasing Prophecy Radio, where the paranormal is supernatural. With your hosts, Sean Kelly, Jenny Nicasio. Welcome to the Chasing Prophecy Radio, and here are your hosts, Sean and Jenny.
Welcome to Chasing Prophecy. Remember to like us on Facebook and Instagram, Chasing Prophecy, where we discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. I'm Jenny Nicasio, along with my co-host, Sean Kelly. It's great to be here again with you, Sean, and our fabulous audience. Sean, my man, how's it going again this evening?
Pretty hot and humid.
Yeah.
But things are going around okay. I'm looking forward to my vacation.
I know. I hear. You're going to North Carolina?
Going to North Carolina to Prospect Gold. But before that, we're going to a haunted amusement park down. It's called Lake Shawnee. It's in West Virginia.
Ooh. And
I'm telling you what, from what I have seen on TV and what I have Googled, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great one.
Lake Shawnee, is that what it's?
Shawnee.
Shawnee.
Yeah, Shawnee.
And it's supposed to be, the amusement park supposed to be haunted?
Yeah, it's in an abandoned amusement park.
Ooh.
They had like 3 or 4 deaths there. Unexpected.
Deaths? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Was it from an accident?
Yeah, the back history on it is pretty cool.
Yeah, tell us.
Okay, a little bit. What happened was there was a family that were settlers there, and the Indians were coming through, and they massacred the whole family.
Oh, my.
And
would be haunted after that.
Yeah, and then when they opened up the park, I really don't know the year, you'd have to Google it, but a girl got killed by a truck. 2 people drowned in the pond that was there. And it's just creepy. You have to really read about it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Maybe we can, once you go, maybe we can do a show on that. That would be really awesome.
We could do that.
Yeah. Well, getting back to some things that happened this week, especially yesterday, I was coming out of the grocery store and I was stopped by a woman. When I took my mask off coming out of the grocery store, do you believe this? She said I had to wear it until I got to my car.
Yeah,
really?
I believe it.
Are you kidding me? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
That's insane. And then I reposted some clips that David, I don't know if you know David Schneideker. I'm not sure if that's how they call him.
Yes, I do.
You know what I'm talking David, he has the Snetheads from Indoctrination Facebook Live group. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I don't know about you. I was kind of kicked off Facebook for a while, and I couldn't get in. And I got these, what do they call it? They censored me, or what did they call me? Suspension, warnings that I was posting stuff that was not acceptable by Facebook. And I know a lot of other people are having the same issue. Mm-hmm. And I've been, I don't know, I've been following the QAnon and the Q drops from JFK Jr. and the conspiracies. And that's the Snetheads. They talk all about the Q drop. There's so many conspiracies out there right now. And his brother Michael, and he has that YouTube channel, The Real Deal. But you know what? There's another conspiracy theorist out there in a channel that I've been following, and I contacted him and I asked if he would be interested in being on the show. So I started, I found him. It's called Forbidden News, and his name is Chris, and he's an independent researcher, journalist, and talk show host. He has a degree in digital media and was an editor at his local television station for 2 years. Chris always questioned the nature of reality since childhood and always has a sense that our reality is much different than we are taught in school. And in 2014, he felt compelled to share the information he was learning. So he created a Facebook page that gained a large audience in a short amount of time. In December of 2018, can you believe this? He created Forbidden Knowledge News on YouTube and started sending emails to his favorite researchers to begin conducting interviews. And later he started the podcast with broadcasts on popular podcast platforms. And he's also the creator of Forbidden Knowledge News social media network, which is this is what we need: a censorship-free social media platform and a premium video site, which features presentation, documentary interviews, original series. Forbidden Knowledge News also broadcasts every Sunday on the Global Enlightenment Radio Network. Okay, so I'm so happy to have him with us today. Mm-hmm. So, Chris, and I want you to give us your last name because I could not pronounce it, and I was supposed to contact you about your pronunciation.
Oh, no, that's fine. It's just Mathieu. The French pronunciation is Mathieu, but everyone just says Mathieu. And thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
Wow. I mean, come on. I've been listening to your podcast. So tell us, I know you the bio said a little bit about it, but go ahead and say it in your own words for us.
Well, I mean, what really got me started is I was recently, I'd been through some big changes in my life, recently divorced, and just kind of disappointed with not really my own life, but just the knowledge that I had about myself and my own reality, because I knew deep down there was a lot more to it. And I just started, diving down rabbit holes in my free time. Started, just researching a little bit of ufology, paranormal. I started looking into different types of conspiracy theories, CERN, Mandela effect, all these things these rabbit holes that one leads to another, and eventually there's plenty of things out there that I find that are pretty tough to believe, but there's a lot that resonates with me. So I decided to just share the information, started the little Facebook page, and never expected anything from it, but it started growing. I started sharing more information, learning a lot more, and eventually just got the courage to start contacting some of my favorite researchers out there. And unexpectedly, they were very willing to come on, very great people, very nice. Pretty much all of them that I contacted, very willing to come on and talk about their research and their books or whatever they're working on. And I started the YouTube channel, and it eventually gained popularity. And I started the podcast, and I've met such amazing people that I never thought I'd meet in my life. I've learned things that I'd never imagined that I'd be researching in my life. And I also find the more that I know, the less I really know, because it just opens up more questions for me the deeper I go. And I started seeing the censorship coming out with everything happening in the past few months. And the censorship really started a couple of years ago, but it ramped up in 2020 with everything happening with this pandemic going on. So I decided to kind of take things into my own hands and start my own social media network. It's censorship free, like you said. It's meant for everybody and anybody who's tired of being thrown in Facebook jail, going against community standards, getting their stuff banned, just for telling what they feel is the truth or important information that other people should know about. So I think it's very important that we have platforms like this. I want as many people to sign up as possible. The social media platform is absolutely free. Post whatever you like, to a certain degree. We don't want to do anything illegal or have anything like that, but, completely censorship free, and it's made for people like us that are seeking the truth. And hopefully we'll keep growing that, and it'll become a new worldwide network that'll hopefully replace some of these censored draconian platforms that we have right now.
Yeah.
Sweet, brother, sweet.
Yeah.
I'm on.
I'm so glad I found you, really, because I was getting disgusted. I mean, you can't post anything on Facebook anymore without getting kicked off, and it's not right. That was it Twitter too, that they're having issues. I mean, it seems like everywhere you look, there's more. Yeah, and I'm into the Mandela effect. So for our viewers who don't understand that, why don't you give us a?
Well, I'm not sure I understand it either. It's what it is it's just these, I guess you could call them changes that have occurred to reality, things that you remember from childhood after a certain time period have made slight changes to certain things. Example, like cereal boxes, the names of cereal or the branding is different on the artwork. They have one from Star Wars where I forget the exact quote, or Luke, I am your father, and it's changed to yes, I am your father, or something like that. There's a bunch of these little differences that people can swear up and down that they were a certain way. They remember this 100% when they were a child, but when they go look it up on the internet or they go to view it on TV or on the media, it's completely changed. And it's a strange phenomenon that no one can really understand. There's theories that it's related to some sort of possible, we're a simulation and there's some sort of glitch happening in the simulation. There's others that the world actually ended in 2012 and we're in some kind of alternate reality. There's others that realities have shifted. That, of course, I do believe that we are in a multiverse or an omniverse with multiple different realities occurring at one time. And there's theories that some of these realities may be bleeding together. We're heading towards a more energetic portion of space. I don't claim to know the answers, but I have notice some of these strange changes myself, and it's very fascinating if you go and look at some of the things that people have said changed. It gets very interesting.
Yeah, that really makes sense about 2000. Who knows? Maybe this is, with everything that's going on, this could be an alternate universe, because maybe it did end in 2012. What we're going through right now is so bizarre. Who knows? There's also what was the one, Mirror Mirror on the Wall? Never happened in the movies. Mirror Mirror,
right,
was that
yes.
Snow White?
Yes.
What was the other ones? There was a couple.
There's a very interesting one. Have you ever heard that there was that the Nazis carried out a terrorist attack near the Statue of Liberty during World War II?
Did not know that.
Well, if you look it up now, apparently there was a terrorist
Really?
attack, and no one can remember this. Yes, it's very interesting, and there's all kinds of things. I can't think of any.
The Curious George. Does he have his tail? Is it okay?
Yes, that's another one.
Does he have a tail?
I remember him with a tail, but who knows?
Yeah.
It could be just a collective subconscious glitch. I really don't have the answers to that one, but like I said, that is a fascinating one.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know, what are some of the conspiracies that you'd like to talk about? I know there's some that I would like to know. Maybe you can help me with. There's that Project Bluebeam that they said that might happen.
Sure.
I don't know if you heard. Did you hear about that one?
Oh, yeah. Project Bluebeam is supposedly a government black project that they will supposedly soon be unveiling a fake alien invasion.
Yeah.
And they've been testing this technology for a while. It consists of satellites and different technology outside our atmosphere that can project images into the sky. Supposedly they tested this in China, projecting angels and big cities into the sky. They have videos of this, actually. I couldn't tell you 100% if it's faked or not. It looks pretty compelling. There's other things that they've faked UFOs in the sky and other large displays, but the theory is that one day they're just going to fake this huge alien invasion with these satellites and projecting technology in the sky to further make us fear and kind of enslave us with the fear of an oncoming alien invasion.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about. It might happen in August, but this is August.
See,
I forgot.
I do not.
So you're thinking it's like the War of the Worlds, but
yeah, maybe there's a big thing going around the conspiracy theorists that they're going to fake an alien invasion, and well, I forgot. Like I said, this is August. I totally forgot today was August 1st.
One of the first things that I've learned when I got into this kind of conspiracy realm is that for people who are setting dates on things, I can't really follow them because there's been so many that have said, this is going to happen on this day. The world is going to end on this day. This major event is going to happen in this month and it never happens. There's always something. But, events do happen. Major events like this, no one was expecting this coronavirus. No one kind of predicted it, but it happened. These things usually aren't predicted. I find these major events, but a lot of times I do find that these major events are manufactured. They are they're definitely planned, and I believe they're planned for a long time. I believe that a lot of these major events that have steered history through time were designed to change society in certain ways and to give certain people more control and power over society, such as one of the earliest, the JFK assassinations.
Yeah.
As far as our country, 9/11, various other homeland attacks, the bombing of Oklahoma City. These things, I believe, are all designed. They're all planned and meant for a purpose, for the 1% in control to steer society in certain ways, and their biggest tool to do that is the media.
George Soros.
Yeah,
he's
Soros.
a big boy in there. But he's not. I think there's a lot above him. I think he is still a smaller fish in the pond when it comes to the elite in control. But those are the unnamed ones. I believe that there's those in power that are above anyone you've heard about in conspiracies, the news. Soros, Rockefeller, Rothschild, all these big players.
Yeah.
I think there are names
Gates.
above them. Gates. I think there are people above them with more wealth and power that no one knows about. That these families are definitely in control of things, and I think there are also unnamed players that have greater control, and that's the ones that we really have to worry about, I believe.
And who do you think they are? Sorry, Sean. I get too wrapped up in this.
This is your deal.
Well, you see, that's the thing. No, I don't think anyone knows who they are. There are theories that, the ones in control aren't even on this planet. There are theories that it could be that these elites in control, the highest families in control, say, for example, the Rockefellers or Rothschilds, that the ones that are actually calling shots are in communication with either off-planet entities or demonic forces or something of that nature. See, I think it's an interesting theory to consider that, but I think we have to take responsibility for how evil humanity can be, and I think that is more of human fault than we can project off-planet or anything else. I think we have evil humans on here. But I do think that there are unnamed ones that will always stay out of the media that really call the shots. That's just my gut feeling there.
Go ahead, Sean. You had some thoughts.
Well, I did, but I lost. My thing is, I just see what Hillary Clinton does all the time, and it just bothers me. And what she's saying, whatever the hell her name is, God only knows what's going to come down the pike with that. But
I'm hoping something does, because it's been long enough that they're throwing these indictments out there. We're going to see these arrests. We're going to see this and that. And things have slowly started to trickle in. I don't think the wheels of justice are moving fast enough on this one, especially because of what we have going on right now. There's no telling what could come along the pike, but I don't get into politics because I don't follow either side. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think both sides are controlled. I think both sides are just used to pit society against each other, left against right, brother against brother. As long as we're fighting each other, we're not looking at the real enemy.
Yeah.
That's true. I believe that. You took the words right out of my mouth, brother.
Getting back to COVID-19 and the vaccine and Bill Gates and what do you think? Do you think it's just, what is it? Why is he so adamant about a vaccine?
Right. Well, where did Bill Gates come from anyway?
Yeah,
He's this software
seriously.
guy, and he's supposed to be a computer guy. Now he's giving us health advice. He's telling us what we should do with our bodies, with vaccines, and he's an authority on this all of a sudden.
Yeah, what makes him the authority to give out medical advice? That's what I don't understand. Why are people listening to him?
Well, he's part of this. He's got a bloodline. He's part of this. He may not be a direct descendant of these bloodlines that have always been in control, but he's part of the, what you would quote, mafia family. It's the mafia. Basically, they control the world, and they are in a big club, and we're not in it. And Bill Gates is part of that club, but he's more of a poster boy that they're using right now. I really don't think he knows what the hell he's talking about. I don't think he knows anything about the healthcare system, anything about vaccines. They are feeding him information to tell us. They're using him as a puppet, a poster boy, because he has some sort of notoriety, and people, for some reason, I don't know why, are listening to him. But I think that's the only thing that he's being used for, is just a tool to get that vaccine out there.
Yeah,
I think he's a quack myself.
Yeah, he's definitely a quack.
He gets excited about. I don't know if you. I'm sure you have heard about his views on population control. It's like,
have you seen his TED talk about trying to to extinguish spirituality in human beings because he thinks it's a mental disorder?
He smiles. He smiles about children and aborting children and using DNA of aborted children. Right. He smiles like this creepy, evil smile. It's like, where's this coming from?
But you know who else is creepy? His wife. I don't trust his wife.
Melinda. Is that her name?
Yes, I don't know. Melinda Gates, yes.
I'm telling you.
And before this whole, I don't know if you are familiar, before the whole pandemic even broke out, they did Event 201, which the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the World Health Organization, it was a simulation of what would happen if a pandemic broke out in the world. And they did this 6 weeks before the pandemic broke out. And guess what they were simulating? Coronavirus.
Wow.
Wow.
So,
I believe it.
this is all planned. This is definitely planned.
So it's like all a bunch of, BS. And then it's like, why are they doing this? It's like, just to control people, the population?
Well, there's a lot behind it. Just going into this would take a 2-hour show. But basically, they want more control and power over us, and they want to basically enslave us. What they're trying to do is push us towards a technocracy where everything technology controls everything. We will be part of the Internet of Things. We will be under complete surveillance. They want to integrate technology into the human biology. They want us to be part cyborg so they can monitor us and control us, and hell, turn us off if they want to. They want basically us to stay at home. They don't want us to get out and work anymore. That's the whole stay-at-home thing, this whole agenda. They want to reduce social skills. That's what the masks are. They want to reduce empathy towards each other, so we have masks on. We can't show each other emotion. We can't really socialize anymore. They want everybody to be working from their homes, universal income. They want the school system. If you notice, kids aren't going back to school. It's probably going to stay that way, no matter if coronavirus is a thing or not. They don't want kids going to school. They want the computers to educate them, to indoctrinate them, because computers will be controlling everything. They want you to be doing all your shopping online. everything basically will be controlled by technology and AI. AI is probably one of the biggest things that we have to worry about in the future. If you look at the advancement of facial recognition, they can find you while you're wearing a mask. It doesn't matter if you're wearing a mask. They can still find you anywhere. All this technology is being rolled out under the guise of coronavirus. They're putting up all these, I don't think 5G really has anything to do with the virus itself like some theories think.
Yeah, some people think that.
I think that they are rolling out this major technology before us right under the guise of the coronavirus so they can roll out more control, surveillance, all these things that'll eventually have complete control over society, and along with the vaccines, there's going to be a social credit system where you can't do this unless you took a vaccine. You can't get a job unless you took the vaccine. You can't go places. You can't do these things unless you are vaccinated. You probably won't be able to leave your damn house unless you're vaccinated. The social credit system will also, it's kind of like they're doing with Facebook. If you go against community standards so many times, you'll get like this sticker where you're spreading false information. People will be labeled, threats to humanity. If they go outside without a mask, they're going to be labeled a threat to society. These things are all happening right under our noses, and people are not getting pissed off about it. People are not standing up. Some people are. I can see our community is, but more need to, because this is happening really quick, and it's happening right under our noses. People need to get pissed off and do something.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting a vaccine, so I guess I'll be stuck at home because there's no way. There's no way.
But it's obvious when you look back and when you take a step back and look at everything and you put everything together, you can see the agenda.
Oh yeah, you can see it. That's their plan, and like you said,
depopulation. Of course, it'll come with it because there's all kinds of ways to depopulate people if you're integrated with technology. And I don't know how soon they want to do this. There could be other things at play. There could be a war. There could be all these other conspiracies that people talk about all the time, but we don't know. But what I do know, the technology is here and it is coming, and they are rolling it out. So that's my number one concern is this technology.
Well, I think that's. Go ahead, Sean. Sorry. I did it again. Stepping on your feet. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you are, just because you're a conspiracy theorist.
Go ahead.
No, I think here's what I feel like, that there's going to be a civil war. And I believe it's going to be humans against technology, to be honest with you.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I'm glad you said civil war. There's something else. They're trying to pit this. They're trying to pit this race war again. They're trying to turn brother against brother. There may be this other civil war where we're actually in a new type of race war because they want us to hate each other. And there's a larger agenda behind that, but it may be a little too controversial for this show. But that's another hour show right there.
Yeah.
We can do that.
I can say all as I know is with all this, it's making it more people more, I don't know if you want to use that word, racist.
Well, it is. It is making people more racist.
Putting this out there constantly. And what I can't stand is them tearing down the statues. And I know that's history. You cannot erase history. You cannot, or we're just going to make the same mistakes over and over and over.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But getting on to more important things like JFK Jr.
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
What are your feelings on that whole?
Well, you may be disappointed with me, but I do not follow Q. Honestly, I think Q is a psychological operation by our deep state. Yes, I do. I think the deep state is putting us up to it. What I think about Q is they're putting some false hope into us. The whole QAnon thing was set up by what's the guy from Breitbart? I forgot. Breitbart,
you think?
Yeah, Breitbart. Yeah, well, I've done plenty of interviews about this and talked to researchers. I've researched it myself. It's a government psyop to keep us kind of in hopes, but nothing's going to happen. If this election is not going to make a difference who wins. We're going to see the same result no matter who wins. It may be quicker and more disturbing if Joe Biden wins, I can tell you that much. But Trump will be a little bit more of a slow rollout, but it'll be more I think we'll have more difficulties if Trump actually wins this election because of the tension amongst society that he will bring with it. Now we'll have that both ways if he doesn't win, but we can't win either side. That's why politics is controlled, and I don't follow it. And we need a completely new system. We need to redo the whole system. The two parties, this whole political system is broken, and it's all under control by these elite psychopaths that all they want is to control humanity and have power. They do not care about us at all. They have none of our interests in mind, and people need to realize that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you don't believe anything about JF Kennedy? You think that's all a bunch of bull? That there is
now,
he's not alive. He's never, he didn't fake his death.
No. I don't think so. Now, if he does, I would be delighted. That would be wonderful. If he's actually they're planning this whole thing to take down the cabal, and that would be great. But I don't see that happening. And just from what I've learned from my close researcher friends that really dig into this stuff, that it's not anything good. It's not anything that we should be following. We need the only ones that are going to save us from this is ourselves. We need to stand up against this ourselves. We need to stop abiding by these new draconian policies and rules and laws that they're coming out with and say, no, we're not going to do it. No, we're not going to abide by it. We're not going to change this. We're not going to wear masks. And if everyone does that, they can't keep it going, but everyone's sleeping. We do have an awakening, but it's not quick enough. We really need to be fast on this one.
What about the currency situation?
You're right. That's going to be definitely. We're going to see a digital currency probably by this coming year, probably by 2021. They're already saying the Federal Reserve has coin shortages, which is a bunch of BS. You know that. But it's definitely coming. That'll be another part of the control system. If there's no paper money, they can shut off your bank and you won't have any. So that's just part of the control.
That's my biggest concern. What if there's I know you don't follow Q, but they always talk about the 10 days of darkness. What if if there's a major blackout and you have no money?
Well, that's
and it's
right,
all stuck on a stupid card.
Yeah,
you can't. That is bull. We can't let that happen. I mean, there's not. What can we do? I mean, what can we do to prevent it?
I've tried to work with people on solutions, and it's really hard because there's not enough people that would be on board. We need to get a bigger percentage of the population on board with this, and we need to talk to our local leaders that aren't under any control. We need to elect people that we know aren't under control, good people. We need to start from our own communities and work outward. That's the only way to do it. We can't start big and try and take down the cabal from our house. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do with my talk show, but it's a talk show. That you have to start from your own community. Start with yourself. Make yourself better. Make your own life better. Positive energy spreads, and if you're doing the right thing, it will go to the next person, and that'll go to the next person. It just all starts with you and your individual self, and then work outward. I think that's the answer.
Well, if you put positive energy on Facebook, I guarantee they'll block you.
Right, yeah.
Well,
Facebook's not the place for positive energy.
Yeah, it's like you can't post anything. The thing is that I don't like about this is the censorship. This is America. They shouldn't be allowed. This is something that they do in a communist regime. Korea, China, Russia. Why are they letting it happen here? That's what I don't understand.
Well, my fear is that pretty soon we won't have our voices. We won't be able to have our voices heard anywhere online or on any of these platforms anymore. I think that if something is not done soon, we're going to lose our voices completely because this is, this is going to become hate speech. It's going to become illegal to talk about conspiracies and things that they don't want you to know about. It's coming. I mean, they're already putting these policies in place in all the social media. If you go and look at all the fine print, you can't post that. You can't do a video about this. You can't say this.
I don't understand. I thought that's what the Constitution is, to protect our rights, our voice.
Well, honestly, they're wiping their asses with the Constitution right now. Forgive me, but...
Google and what makes them the authority to make the rules?
It's a divine
rich.
right to rule.
It's all about money.
These are people that are part of bloodlines that have been in control for thousands and thousands of years. If you've ever heard of the Sumerian Kings list, that is...
No, I haven't. I'll have to look that one up.
That is the rulers that have been in control. Now, the Sumerian Kings list goes back 10 to 100,000 of years, and these elite rulers 50 to 100,000 years ago lived a lot longer than humans did now. These people could live up to hundreds, maybe thousands of years, according to the Sumerian Kings list and the ancient mythos, certain tablets and scriptures, that these ancient beings, which were ancient humanoids, lived for thousands of years, and they were the controllers of the planet, and they were the ones who they passed down their lineage, and their offspring were in control, and it went on for thousands.
Aliens, aren't they?
Well, that's the theory. I don't know if aliens is the word myself. I think advanced humans. I think we were more advanced in the ancient past. I don't know if aliens had anything to do with it. It's part of the theory. I've considered it. It may be, but I think whatever the case, we were extremely advanced humans that could live for a long time and had great consciousness abilities in our ancient past. Not only these elite rulers, but everybody did. And I don't think that it was always bad. I don't think these elite rulers were always bad. I think it got tainted somewhere along the way. And these bloodlines continued to breed psychopaths at some point, whether it was 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago, at some point it got tainted, and they started breeding psychopaths that were in control. And it just went wrong at some point. But yeah, that's who runs the planet. These kings, these royalty. They consider themselves royalty. They have a divine right to rule because of their blood, and that's the ones that are behind the scenes right now. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. If you look back at their lineage, if you go back 100 years, if you go back 1,000 years, it goes back to these ancient Egyptian bloodlines, these Sumerian bloodlines. And if you do enough research, if you look back, you can even see text where it goes back to Atlantean bloodlines.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, these people have been in control since the beginning of time.
That's amazing.
It's crazy, buddy, crazy. Go hunt some alligators in Louisiana.
Yeah, definitely. What about the harp?
Harp. Oh, okay. Well, harp I haven't heard anything about in a while. That's kind of a...
well, the reason why I brought it up is because the hurricane, I don't know.
Well, HARP is supposedly a weather control or modification system. I think it's a lot bigger than HARP now. I think HARP maybe been like one of the first stages of it. I think it's just a system that they have in place now with a system of satellites and technology all across our planet that they can control the weather. I think it's easy for them to control the weather with whatever they spray in the air, the aluminum particulates, whatever metallic. It's conductive. They can control with whatever pulses they're putting in the sky with this technology. They can change the weather, form clouds, even make hurricanes. Make dry conditions, make fires. Supposedly, they can even cause earthquakes. I believe they 100% have the technology to control our planetary weather and cause great cataclysms on our planet, and I think they've done it before. I 100% think that they are behind the California wildfires that occurred.
I believe that.
I believe that. Devastated California. And probably a couple of these more devastating storms. I'm not going to say they completely caused it, but they may have had a hand in intensifying them.
Maybe that's what you don't know. That with this new hurricane, they may try to do something crazy this time. Just to make things worse than they already are.
I think that.
Do you think the military has a part of this?
Oh, the military
Which one?
is so compartmentalized. The left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. If it is military, it's deep black projects that we don't know what branch. It could be, unnamed branches of the military, deep three-letter agencies that we've never heard of, that under these project names that we would never be able to tell what's going on by the project name. But yeah, I think that it's black projects, part of our military-industrial complex. That who else is going to come up with this technology? I'm
sorry.
No, go ahead.
This proves my theory. Okay, I believe in UFOs. I believe in aliens. Okay, and I believe that America and Russia and all them actually made a deal with them, give us your technology. And I do believe that's where it came from. I have no doubt in my mind.
Well, that is a very good possibility. Now, the story behind the whole, from what I've heard of us receiving off-world technology, goes back to before World War II, where Hitler had his part of the Thule Society channeling these either off-planet beings or interdimensional beings to give them information on how to build these saucers and ships that the Nazis were building. And they would
Kecksburg.
What's that?
Kecksburg.
Yes, and they would take this technology to Antarctica, and they supposedly, the story goes that they had bases on Antarctica where they were building these amazing flying saucers and technology. And after World War II ended, we took all the scientists that were working with the Nazis, and we integrated them through Project Paperclip into NASA, into our government, into our own, all of our big corporations and systems, and we're basically being, run by Nazis right now. But they had created great technologies. Imagine, if they were doing flying saucer and reverse engineering stuff like that in the 40s and 50s, you can imagine what kind of technology they're using now. The bad part is they use a lot of this technology against their own people for psychological warfare purposes, and they have for years.
Which would be China, right?
Oh, our own government does it too. I mean, China. I can't speak for China. I know that they're part of the global cabal, but it's branches of our own government that are so compartmentalized that there are probably leaders in their own local governments that have no idea that these projects exist. Yeah, they're definitely in control of that, and they use this technology against their own people. And when it comes to UFOs, I definitely believe we've reverse engineered, that we're tinkering around with off-planet technology. But I'm not so sure if we're still working with extraterrestrials or not. Like I said, that's one of the theories. It's possible.
I think we're more advanced than the ETs.
Now that I don't think so.
I don't believe that. I don't think so either.
I think the ETs
I thought I'd throw that in there.
I think they're more advanced than us.
I want to go to a story that I forget who I was interviewing. He was an abductee. I believe it was Terry Lovelace. He said that when he was taken on the ship and he made eye contact with one of these gray-like beings that was taking him, that he felt so inferior to this being. It immediately connected psychically to him, and he felt he could only compare it to how a dog feels when its owner yells at him. He felt so scared, and that this being had so much control over him. He said the being, he felt him immediately read all his thoughts, fears, and emotions, and it felt like he was in complete control of everything and could basically shut him down with a thought. That's how advanced that some of these beings that supposedly we're dealing with are.
That's how I feel they would be. Like we're nothing. We're like little peons, compared to them. What about Pentagon documents about that craft that they said that they have. They're going to be doing that on Monday. You know what I'm talking about?
There's new documents. I mean, we've.
Yeah,
I know about
they,
the Tic Tac craft. I haven't really been watching the news past couple of days about anything.
They it was on the news. Sean, you remember what day was that we were talking about that?
Now, is this a new UFO footage, or is this the same Tic Tac UFO?
It's not footage. It's an actual craft that they said they have. They it was we talked about it last.
I didn't hear this.
Friday. Yeah, for last Friday. Remember, Sean? We talked about it. They said it's like 40 feet. They have a craft, and they're going to release the papers on Monday.
And this is the Pentagon that's going to release this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was on the news.
I'm going to have to look into this.
Look up, Tucker Carlson had it on too, and he talked about it. It was, it's amazing, and they're going to release it disclose it on Monday.
See, here's the thing with the mainstream media and the government supposedly disclosing things about UFOs. If they're doing it for a reason. There's a narrative behind it.
Yeah, I wanted to know if you heard about it, because why are they doing this now? What is their motive?
There's been this slow trickle.
Distraction?
There's been this slow trickle of UFO disclosure, if you want to call it that, through the media the past few years. It's building up. We had the Area 51 craze last year, and then it just kept going from there. I think that it's a possibility that we could see some type of fakery when it comes to aliens.
Yeah, and this is August, and that's what they're saying. I don't know if you follow Mike Baer at all.
Yes, I don't follow him, but I'm familiar with his work.
Yeah, he was talking about it on. He had a special after his, I guess it was like an after party from The Real Deal, and he was talking about the fake alien invasion, and that's what brought me up to the blue beam. Like this, they're going to be, because this is what they're doing. They disclosed all that information about the TikTok and then the videos, and now we're at, we have a craft, and then all of a sudden they're going to drop the bomb. Oh, there's an alien invasion. That's why we wanted you to shelter in place in the first place.
I mean, if they're coming out with it, it's nothing good. I wouldn't get excited over it. I would be more concerned than anything. So it's a great possibility. Project Rona didn't work, so let's go to Project Alien Invasion.
Yeah, it's like this is my thoughts on the whole COVID thing. The whole COVID thing was there is a virus. Yes, it's very bad. It can hurt, especially elderly people. But wouldn't this be the perfect way to keep us out? If we shelter, they make us shelter in place, get everybody off the streets, gets the cars off the street, and they're covering up an alien invasion. That to me made more sense than this whole, COVID, this is something from China and it's from China, but that would be the perfect scenario. Shelter in place, everybody's inside if it was going to be an alien invasion. Yeah. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
You're right. It would be. There was another theory that the reason they wanted everyone to shelter in place and brought out the military was that there was a giant asteroid on the way that could possibly destroy the planet. One. Yeah, there was all kind of stuff going on. I mean, the theories that surrounding coronavirus were crazy, but the good thing that came out of it is people started questioning things. People started looking into this stuff. People are like, wait, this doesn't make sense. The news told me this, and this isn't the way it is. And it triggered this great awakening effect. That's why, even though I believe Q is a controlled psychological op, I think that it is good in a way that it gets people looking at things and kind of looking behind the scenes. Because yes, Pizzagate is real. Yes, I believe these Hollywood celebrities are into this dark stuff. They are pedophiles. They are doing all these things, and they're involved with high level people. And that is all real. It all needs to be exposed. It definitely does.
Talking about Pizzagate, why didn't they believe that reporter? I mean, why? I don't recall her name, but who put this all out there? Like, why don't they? like their eyes are so shut that they can't see what's right in front of them.
Well, who are you saying doesn't believe it? I mean, if it's
the people,
the people is because there's cognitive dissonance, and there's so much. I guess it's such a touchy subject when it comes to this kids, being pedophiles and kids being hurt or molested. There's a stigma that comes with it. People don't even want to look at it, and when you start pointing out the people behind it, it makes people uncomfortable for some reason. They turn away even further. Mm-hmm. And I don't understand that. We need to get angry and we need to expose it.
Yes.
But there's also an agenda going on that is trying to normalize pedophilia. There's an agenda going on.
Oh my God! Did
that
you
is
see
trying
that?
to push this on to the mainstream society as something that is normal, and that is the problem. That's why it's conflicting people's beliefs and thoughts about this, because it's not right. It's not normal. It is. It's reprehensible behavior that I believe should be punished by death. But,
oh my goodness!
Yes. These people are trying to normalize this into society, and that's another part of the problem we have with it.
Chris, there was the Facebook pages that they were promoting it. It's like, and they left it on. Facebook let it on. But they're going to censor us for other stuff. But they're going to leave that on.
Well, keep this in mind. For those that support Black Lives Matter. If you look into their website, the organizers of Black Lives Matter, first of all, they are now linked with the normalizing pedophilia, the LGBTQ, whatever it is. But they were holding up signs that stop pedo bashing, normalize it. This was Black Lives Matter groups. Now, Black Lives Matter groups, if you look at who's the top of this, it's the same. If you want me to be blunt, it's rich white Nazis. There's an agenda behind it to destroy the black community. Now that's, like I said, that's another show, but there's agenda on top of agenda, and it's so deep and so layered. They want to destroy certain aspects of society, certain people, certain races that they don't like, because we are being ruled by Nazis right now that think that the white men are the supreme beings on this planet, and everyone else needs to be ruled and controlled. That's the bottom line.
Well, if that's the case, why do the Black Lives Matter make you kneel down and kiss their boot?
They're trying to push this race war. They want to get white people mad at black people to fight them, because they want the black community to destroy itself, basically. This is an agenda. People need to see through this. The ones behind this are rich white people trying to pit us against each other.
But a lot of people think those rich white people are from the deep state.
They are. It's all controlled by the deep state. They're playing both sides, and that's what people need to see. They're on the Black Lives Matter side. They're on the white supremacist side. They are playing both sides. They're on the media side. They're on the Trump side. That they are pitting people against. That's why it is so hard to get past this, because the ones in control are in control of everything. They are controlling both sides, and no one knows what the hell's going on. That is our problem right now.
Yeah. Is that what you feel about Antifa?
Antifa is definitely, it's the same thing as Black Lives Matter. They're under complete control by these organizations that go straight to the top, straight to these elite families that want to steer society. Antifa it's a bunch of criminals that they outsource, that are living in their parents' basement or just got out of jail, to cause havoc amongst society.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
So, what about let's see, we started a little bit late, so we'll go a little bit later. Okay, Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, she's in big hot water.
Right.
And now people said that Wayfair was all debunked. It wasn't true, but all those storage.
Of course, they
units
said it was
had her
debunked.
name.
Of course, they would.
Her names were on it.
Right.
Her name.
Right.
Her name was on all those.
Well, the celebrities are running right now. Tom Hanks went to Greece. Really? I mean, why? Why all of a sudden now he's moving to Greece? Ellen's going to shut down her show. They're
Chrissy
terrified.
Teigen.
Yeah,
Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah, she removed all kind of tweets. They're terrified right now of what's coming.
Do you think it's related to?
You were
Mm-hmm.
you were breaking up there. I
sorry.
didn't hear you. What was that?
Do you think it's related to Epstein's right-hand gal?
Oh, it's all related. It's all connected. All of it's connected to Epstein. Epstein was a huge player when it comes to these elites. He was connected to everything, everyone. He was in charge of the blackmail. He was in charge of blackmailing celebrities, politicians. He would get information on them and make sure that if when I got out of line, he would, hold this information against them. He was a major player in all of this, and all the celebrities are in some way connected to him. I don't want to say all celebrities, but the ones you hear about,
Yeah.
the ones that keep popping up here on these little memes and on Facebook and in the media, they are the ones that we have to look out for that are going to be running scared soon. Because it is going to come out, even though I know it's moving slow, and I think it should be moving a lot faster, but I think it also has to do with there's a war behind the scenes that it may not be Trump. It may not. I think that there are good factions of our military-industrial complex that are trying to fight from within. I have to think that, because if I don't, I've lost hope in our whole system. But I have to think that there's someone on the inside that's trying to fight and do something about this, because arrests are happening. I mean, they're
We don't
coming.
see them though.
Right.
Well, what about okay? So do you think that she's going to make a deal that she's going to show the video? She's going to tell everybody
She's
who's
going to do
involved,
whatever
and
she's going to sing like a bird. She's going to do whatever she has to do.
she's
These people are weak. As soon as they're going to do whatever. I mean, she's probably going to get.
Yeah. Do you think she's going to make a deal and they're going to put her in the witness
they're
protection
going to
and
relocate
hide
her. She's going to be off at some island somewhere with a plastic surgery, and just like Epstein, I think he's still alive somewhere too. Under some sort of protection, which is, you look at that too. Why, if this is justice, why are they still alive? This is the whole system is meant to protect these people.
Oh, before we go, go ahead,
think,
Sean.
Real quick, hon. I think that she is sent to Gitmo. Okay, I think she's down there. She's not in the United States. I don't know. One more question from me, and then, do you think if he did die, who killed Epstein?
Well, yeah, that if he did die. Now, yeah, it's possible he died. I know he didn't commit suicide. I couldn't tell you who killed him,
He
but
was murdered.
it was, it was the I guess the order was given from really, really up high. There's no telling how they did it, but it was definitely part of this mafia family that controls everything. People like to look at the Clintons as this big bad wolf, but they're such small players when it comes to the grand scheme of things. They need to be arrested. They need to be put down and killed. All these people need to be destroyed and released from our planet so we can, have a better society. But they are smaller fish when it comes to who really needs to be exposed and taken out here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They need to be exposed, and I hope to God we see it. Before we close, I just want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Getting back to conspiracies, because it all started after, all the riots all started because of George Floyd.
Right.
Do you buy into any of that? Do you buy into any of the conspiracies that he's alive?
Well, I don't know. I can't really speak for that. I can't really speak for if it was fake, but I can say it has all the signatures of a psychological operation. It has all the signatures of that something is screwy with it. There's, just like the Vegas shooting, just like these other types of shootings, there's seems to be these recurring actors that show up. There seems to be these things that don't make sense as to how he was arrested and the way it happened, and when you look more into it, none of it starts making sense.
Nope.
The whole investigation, and it reeks of a psychological op, and that's what my gut tells me. I can't say 100%, but my gut tells me It was an op to get people riled
Trust your
up.
gut.
Yeah, it was an op to get people riled up, to start this race war thing, to get people turning against each other, and to destroy certain parts of our society.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah,
thank you,
Chris.
brother. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
But we're coming to that bewitching hour once again that we have to say goodbye. But Chris, I want you to tell our listeners where they can get a hold of you and your website and everything in case they want to check you out.
Sure, yeah. My website is forbiddenknowledge.news. You can sign up for the social media network there. You can sign up for my premium video section. Every year we have started to do a conference, an online conference. 2020 we had 14 amazing speakers online. We'll be doing it again in 2021. Tickets will be going on sale soon. We'll be announcing the speakers for that. You can sign up for that there. YouTube channel, Forbidden Knowledge News. Podcast, Forbidden Knowledge News on any popular podcast platform, Apple, Google, Spotify. And if you want to email me, you can send it to chris@forbiddenknowledge.news. And that'd be it.
Thank you.
That's impressive.
We got to
Thank
have
you.
you on again, brother.
Yes.
All
we
right,
are.
that sounds great. I'd
Yeah.
love to come back on.
Great.
Oh, man, that's
I can't
awesome.
wait because I could sit and
You made
talk all
my
night.
day.
Yes.
Made my day, brother.
Great.
Sean, tell our audience where someone can get in contact with you if they want to have a paranormal investigation.
Yes, you can go to the Facebook page, up to Facebook, and just type in Pittsburgh Paranormal Society and send me a message, and we'll get back to you.
Great. And please check out my author page at J.E. Nicasio, my trilogy from the sky, and all my books on Amazon.com. Next week, we were having a expert in astral everything. So I'm not going to tell too much about it because he's going to be good, but we'll make sure you be in the house for that. So remember to like us on Facebook and check out Chasing Prophecy Radio on YouTube. And please subscribe. Good night, everyone. And thanks again for tuning in to Chasing Prophecy.